The Gospel of John, according to John, the 12th chapter.
Glory to you, Lord.
For the Gospel chosen for this Sunday to go along with the story of Elijah is this story that we find Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, really just moments before he's going to be betrayed by Judas and taken into custody. Jesus says, "Now my soul is troubled. And what should I say? Father, save me from this hour? No. It is for this reason that I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name." Then a voice came from heaven. "I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord.
I invite you to be seated. Elijah, one of the great prophets of the Old Testament, and he comes to that time where he feels like he is at the end of his rope. And of course, you know what to do when you come to the you know what to do when you come to the end of the rope, right? You tie a knot and hang on. You've seen that since I was a kid. I remember posters like that. Who said that? Franklin Roosevelt. So we all remember that. But that's not what God calls or tells Elijah to do. He doesn't let Elijah wallow in his own pity. He doesn't let Elijah just hang on. He says, "Elijah, get up. You got work to do. You are not done yet." God provides for Elijah. He provides. So when I click this at you, Darla, you click that. It'll work. So he doesn't let Elijah wallow. He doesn't let him hang there on his rope. He says, "Get up and eat. Otherwise, the journey is going to be too much for you." He says, "I'm going to provide what you need. You are not done yet. You are my witness. You are my anointed one. You are the one that is my voice. And I am still God. Even though it seems to you that all are worshiping Baal and all are after you, God says, get up and go." And he does the same for us, day in and day out. When it seems that we are at the end of our rope, when it seems that the world is too much, God says, get up. Get up and go do as you have been called to do. And now many of us know that just plain get up, pull yourselves up by the bootstraps, doesn't always work. But we need to hear that calling from God that there is more for us to do in our own calling. This is the last of the call stories. We've talked about how we are all called to something. Raising our children and our grandchildren. We've been over the list. We are all called to do something to further the kingdom of God, to bring about righteousness, to do the things that God would have us do. So God continues to provide for us and to give us direction like he does to Elijah. He tells Elijah to go to Mount Horeb, and he will meet him there. And there, click, Elijah goes into the cave that God directed him to, and what happens? There is a great wind. There's an earthquake, there's fire, but God's not there in any of those things that we would normally think about, especially in the Old Testament times, of God coming in wind and fire and earthquakes, but God's not in those. In this story for Elijah, God comes in the sound of sheer silence. God comes in other translations in a still, small voice. Sometimes God comes in the fire and the earthquake and the wind. Sometimes when God calls us, it's a mind-blowing experience. It's something that is huge. But for most of us, and most of the time, God comes to us in the still, small voice or the sound of sheer silence. When we're driving alone down the freeway and we turn the radio off and just simply listen. For those who are able to take 30 minutes or an hour out of your day, as a scheduled part of your day, usually in the morning or the evening, and set aside for your Bible reading and your study and your devotions and in your prayer time. Listen for that sheer silence, that still, small voice, because that is how God often calls us. It's in that simple silence. And often God calls us through not fire, not wind, not earthquake, not even the silence. Often God calls us through each other. And God continues to call us day in and day out. Now Elijah, he knows that God is calling him. There's no question in his mind. He's up in that cave and he's seen all of these things, and now he hears the voice of God and the sheer sound of silence, and God provides. Well, God is going to provide. But Elijah, even though he knows it's God calling, still whines about it. He says, I have been zealous for the Lord, the God of hosts, for the Israelites have forsaken your covenant, thrown down your altars, and killed your prophets. With the sword I alone am left, and they are seeking my life to take it away. He continues to whine. But God gives him a calling, something to do. And it's not the same calling as he first got when he first became a prophet. See, I don't think God calls us just once. And I don't think God calls us to just one thing for all of our lives. I think God is continually calling. And that this word is alive, and God's call is alive in us. And so God calls Elijah to something new here. He calls him to go and anoint these wonderful people that Dean read. And after he anoints them, God tells him that whoever comes to Jehu or whoever it is, I'm trying to kind of shorten this because I know I preached a lot on it. Anyway, that they're going to kill all of the enemies of Elijah and all of the enemies of the people of God, those that still worship the great I Am. And that might not seem like a godly calling to us, but we are not people of the 8th century before Christ. And so we need to leave that part of it as it is and know that God calls us. And the question many of us might have is, how do I know that it's God calling? Or is it just one of those things that goes through my head as I ruminate on things? If it's God calling, it's going to be about love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. If it's not about those things, it's not from God. That sheer small voice or the earthquake or the wind or the fire, it's always about love when it comes from God. God calls Elijah and he provides for him. You can see at the very very end, one more click, that God says, "Yet I will leave 7,000 in Israel, all the knees that have not bowed to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him." Excuse me. So, what does that have to do with us here today? Sometimes I think we feel like we're in the same place that Elijah is. We look around this building that holds 300 and say, where is everybody? We look around and we may see, where are all the young people? Where are all the black people? Where are all the Hispanic people? Where are all the gay people? Where are all the visitors? What's going on here? And when we look at the Christian church as a whole, we might say, what is going on, Lord? It seems that there are few people calling your name, the great I am, the creator, the lover of the world. But yet God says, you and I are not alone. God says, we've got this. Follow your calling and leave the rest to God. Amen. Let's stand, and the choir sang for us 2 weeks ago the song, "Open the Eyes."